Hello, good evening. My name is Richard and welcome back to Over and Over and Over Again. This is, of course, a special edition of the Arsenal Women's Show, not on the usual night, of course, due to various different reasons, but we couldn't let this week go without a show, could we? It's been, of course, we're in the middle of the Champions League semi-final, Arsenal against Lyon. What we're going to do is look back on that first leg on Saturday. We're still in the tie, Chelsea probably aren't in there, so we can have a little laugh about that maybe. But let's concentrate on our game. It was a difficult game. We're going to look back on that, and we are going to look ahead, of course, to the second leg, which is coming up, as we know, on Sunday evening. So can we do it? This is what we're going to look at. Where did it go wrong? What can we put right, and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be an interesting show. Also, as well, we're going to look at the recent WSL game against Leicester, and of course the upcoming game against Aston Villa. Of course, second place is now in our hands, isn't it? So we're going to look ahead to that because that's going to be good as well. Of course, get your comments and questions in as well. Do you think we can turn that first leg defeat around and make it through to the final? Well, we will get into it the other side of this. And of course, joining us as always, we have got the Lord Andreas in the house, and Amar as well, of course, as well. Andreas, good to see you again. Obviously, you've been busy flying over to London and stuff, obviously at the weekend, and you're back now. Was it a good trip?
Yeah, it was a good trip. A good and an interesting game, good atmosphere, everything. Of course, the result was not what we wanted, but that's football. You have to live with it, and we will discuss it tonight, I think.
Exactly, yeah, that's exactly what it's about. Amar as well, good to see you. A little bit dark, but we're kind of used to it.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, no, I turned the light on move room, but yeah, it's been good. So an intriguing game to watch. Both semi-finals were, in fact, but yeah, as we'll get onto it later, we showed why we're still some way behind. But no, it was a good game. It was a good game to watch, and hopefully, let's see. Who knows? Maybe we could do the unthinkable.
Well, indeed, it's only half time. Greg's with us, of course. Andreas' new mate, of course, Greg, who keeps popping up on Andreas' videos, which is great to see. Hope you're well, my friend. He says, evening, all disappointed, but still do. I think that's pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? I mean, I think we were all disappointed on Saturday. Of course we were. But yeah, it is definitely still doable. But let's get into the game, obviously. Lots went on. Lots happened. It was an interesting 90 minutes or so. And yeah, well, I mean, what other place can we start other than looking back on the game on Saturday? So yes, I must admit, before the game, I was feeling fairly optimistic, but my one fear, Greg mentioned it in the interview with Andreas as well. My biggest concern was the goalkeeper, and I thought when we knew Daphne was injured and she was potentially going to miss this game, I started to get a few more anxieties about it. And as it turned out, for me, watching that game as a whole, I felt the main difference was our goalkeeper. I think with Daphne in goal, we at least take a draw over there, if not possibly a victory, because the two goals were both, particularly the first one. Why did she go over her legs, not her hands? She could have just dived and pushed it away. She does that too many times for me. But anyway, to me, that was the main difference between the teams. Yes, they had some chances. We had some chances. Very even game. Not much to choose between the sides. And ultimately, that proved to be the difference. I mean, Andreas, obviously you was there. The atmosphere did seem amazing through the telly as well. It seemed a great occasion, as it always is, a Champions League semi-final. I didn't think the kickoff time was ideal. 12:30 doesn't make for a bigger crowd and a better atmosphere. But I thought it was really good. What we heard through the telly and stuff, it looked great. I mean, what did you make of the sort of atmosphere in the stadium as well? I mean, because that was quite important, wasn't it? You need to make the most of your home advantage. And I thought we did all we could in the circumstances to do that, really, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was Easter Saturday at lunchtime, so 40,000 is a really good attendance. And yes, Arsenal celebrated this event. When you watch my blog, you see with this firework before the game and everything.
Yeah.
So it was really good celebrated, and the atmosphere was very, very good. The game itself was a really good game between top teams in Europe, but I saw Lyon now the second time. I saw them when they played in Munich, won 2-0. Now they won away in London 2-1. So this is European top quality. It's not Leicester or Crystal Palace.
No.
It's really it's the top level in Europe, and
Yeah.
that's where we want to compete. Yes, I agree. The goalkeeper makes a big difference, and when you see after 7 minutes this save from Manu when she parried the ball in front of her, Daniel van de Donk, she must score. She must make the one.
Must score.
And this was absolutely Manu's fault. And then the second situation when she was too wide outside of her goal, and the ball hit the crossbar. Oh yeah, yeah. In so many situations, you see she's average. As I always say, she's an average good goalkeeper, but average and good is not good enough if you want to compete with the best in Europe. And I agree that one of these two goals Daphne would have saved, because Daphne saves the unsavable things, and so maybe we would have gone out with a draw. But it's not only Manu, the whole team. We defended both situations not good enough. Was it offside? Was it not offside? I don't know exactly. From my point where I was sitting, it was offside. Maybe TV proved that it was not offside. I don't know. Especially the second goal was terrible defended from us. We lost the ball in midfield, and then there are two passes, and then one of these Lyon rockets went away. You must defend this better. And we also had problems to create chances. We had not enough real danger situations in their box, and it was difficult to bring the ball into their box. Of course, there's one point. Caitlin Ford had to play against Ellie Carpenter. They are both teammates in the Australian national team.
Yeah, that's right.
Knows Caitlin's movements, or she can read her body language very good, and so Caitlin was not as effective as she is sometimes in the WSL. So a lot of problems. Desi Russo was not 100%.
Exactly.
Chloe Kelly came on only in the second half, also not 100% fit after injury. All these things added to the result. But to be fair, Lyon was missing Wendy Renard. So
they benched her, didn't they? Yeah.
The Wendy Renard, they would have scored after a corner against Manu, I'm sure. So all in all, as hard as it is, it was a fair result, and Lyon was the better team, I think. They are really, really good side. I saw them twice now, and it will be very, very hard to turn this around.
No, I agree. Lyon are a very good side. I mean, going forward, they've got a lot of pace, which we found difficult at times to deal with, and that's a problem. And that's not going to be any different in the second leg, I'm sure. And yeah, I mean, you're right. The defending for both the Lyon goals was not good enough at that level. It's not good enough. I agree 100%. It was poor defending for both the goals, but certainly the first one. At the end of the day, your goalkeeper is your last line of defence. And if your defence in front of you happens to let you down, your job is to do what you can to keep that ball out of your net. That's your job. Your one and only job really is to keep the ball out of your net. You're not going to do it every single time. Maybe the second goal, we can maybe let Manu off a little slight deflection. But it was quite close to when it went in. But the first goal, to me, there's no excuse for the goalkeeper there. She has to save that. It was quite close to her. She put her body the wrong way and then had to try and go with her legs. Why would she do that? It's obvious from the position that Diane was in. She could only go across the keeper into the far post. It's the only place she could score. She couldn't really score any other. The angle that she was at, she was going to always go across the keeper. So get your position right and just dive across and push it away. It's simple. To me, that was a simple save, and she made a complete mess of it. And the first goal in the game like that was so important. And yes, we did well to get back into the game later on, but I don't know. To me, at the end of that game, my overriding feeling was in the second leg, if Daphne's not fit, let's just put an outfield player there and play 11 players. And don't have a goalkeeper because she's a liability, honestly. She's a liability. You know she's going to concede a goal in that second leg. You know she will. All they've got to do is shoot. They knew that from the start. That's why they kept shooting from distance. As Andrea said, that the first one where obviously Danielle should have scored, we all know that was an open goal. How she missed, I do not know. And that was a mistake from Zinsberger. A mistake from Zinsberger for the second goal. She was caught miles off her line for that one that hit the ball. We could have been 3-0 down in 25 minutes. It would all have been down to the goalkeeper. Nothing else. We hadn't really done too much wrong. They're a good team, but we could have been 3-0 down. The tie could have been over in 20 minutes, down to one player and one player only. And if we're going to do well, if you're going to compete, as we said before, at the top level, you need to have a better goalkeeper. We've got a better goalkeeper. Unfortunately, she's injured. We need to get a better backup goalkeeper going forward because we cannot be in this situation again. If we want to win trophies and we want to compete with the likes of Chelsea, with the likes of Lyon, with the likes of Barcelona, we can't do it if this goalkeeper has to play. We saw in Bayern Munich at first game in the Champions League, what a disaster she had that night. And she had another disaster in this game. And that's the I'm sorry. However good Lyon are, and they are a very good side, and I'm not denying that they're not a fantastic team. We only lost this game because of our goalkeeper. That's it. We would have got a result, a draw at the least. We would have got, and we'd have taken the result over to Lyon next week if it wasn't for the goalkeeper. If Daphne was fit, we don't lose that game. In the way that game played out, we wouldn't have lost it. Absolutely not. And I don't know. To me, it's been a problem for 2 or 3 seasons now. You know, we thought Sabrina was going to be the answer to oust Manu out of the team. Didn't happen for one reason or another. We've got Daphne in now, and she has done that job, rightly so, because she's fantastic. And now she's injured at the wrong time. And it's just so disappointing that injuries come when it did, because she's been playing so well. I mean, what did you make of the game overall? Because I don't think we played badly, especially second half. I thought we took the game to them, and we had a really good spell before we scored, where we were a better team for 10, 20 minutes possibly. We had some chances. Beth missed one. We missed a couple of others. Caitlin made a good save. And I thought we had a good spell where we were a better team. And we definitely, that spell alone probably meant we deserved something from the game.
Yeah, there's no doubt it took us a while to get going. You could see the first few minutes, we were just feeling each other out. And, you know, Lyon showed their quality. I know you say the goalkeeper. I agree to an extent that she's to blame. But as well, somebody's got to stop Selma Basher from making that shot. You know, she's dangerous on her left foot, and she's got to stop. And yeah, we know Van der Donk should have buried that. She should probably catch it, but I suppose it's maybe the bounce of the ball, or I don't know, but she should definitely handle it better. There's no doubt. But the DVD should score. And then Beth gives the ball away, and then she spots Manu off the line. Yeah. And then the first goal is just to say it's just 2 balls for your back line. That really shouldn't happen. Yes, it's Lyon, it's an elite team, but you shouldn't have 2 balls to the back line, and you have Diani, one of the most lethal strikers in Europe, or part of that front three, to just having a shot. Yes, she should probably maybe have made go a bit closer to a bit tighter. I think Emily Fox was just shown. It's good that VAR, we have that semi-automated technology which shows you that Emily Fox just played Diani onside, so I think it was the correct decision. I don't think that's right though. If you look at the when they've got a still picture of the incident, Diani's leaning forward and Emily Fox is leaning back. I think her arm's playing onside though. It looks like, doesn't it? It's an arm. It looks like her arm's playing onside.
She's offside. 100% offside.
The technology,
no.
But fair enough. But the technology, I think that at least it makes the decision quicker in a way where it didn't take 5-6 minutes, which we don't want. That's killing the game.
No, they got it quickly. They got it wrong, but they got it quicker.
Anyway, back to the game. No, I wouldn't disagree, man. That's fair. You raised a fair point there as well. But going back to the game, second half, we had a spell for half an hour. We're really on top. Had a chance cleared off the line. Frieda had a couple of headers. If it had just been somebody else, you could see Russo wasn't 100% fit. Maybe she should have come on. And Kelly, as Andreas was saying, Kelly maybe could have come on a bit earlier. I don't follow the team selection. We gave a real good go second half. Whether or not it's up for debate, is it a penalty? Isn't. But you saw one similar. I was going back to the point in midweek when I don't know if you saw the Newcastle Crystal Palace game. Nick Pope punches, what was it, Ezra or one of the Crystal Palace players on the bench, and that's exactly the same as what we didn't see with Endler. Just doesn't make contact with the ball and just punches Leah. And That's what VAR gave that for. Other than that, we did create chances, but the main difference between us and Lyon was clinical. They had 2 shots on goal, and then just as we look like, we say we take a lead back to France, they go and hit us with an absolutely superb goal from one of the hottest strikers on the planet in Dumoulin. We were really going to have to. We kept Chewinga quiet, which was good, but Diani and Dumoulin are going to be an equally big threat in the second leg. It's just a one ball through. I know I don't blame Emily or Steph, but just one ball through your back line, just like it was for the first goal, and both goals are avoidable. So overall, it was a fair result. But if we're going to, we have to be more clinical as well as be very solid and keep their famed front three quiet in the second leg.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I thought it was a fairly even game overall, wasn't it? I mean, we were at home, so we probably had a bit more of the ball at times, but I thought a draw would have been a fair result overall. Personally, I just felt we deserved something for the second half performance. Okay, first half, we wasn't maybe up to the level we needed to be, but we came out second half, we put a few things right tactically, and we were much better. We ended up getting the goal. The penalty was a strange one. No one appealed for it. Even Leah didn't appeal for it, did she? She knew she'd got whacked in the back of the head, but she didn't appeal. The game carried on, and it was given. Fair enough. We took it and we scored and that, but it was a strange decision. I don't really like to see penalties given for that, if I'm honest. But anyway, it was given. We got what at that time in the game we deserved, which was the goal, which we'd been pressing for the previous 15 minutes. And unfortunately, what happens, you're maybe more vulnerable when you've just scored.
Absolutely.
You switched off for a second, gave the ball away again, and they've got the players at that level. You get punished for those mistakes, and we did. And they scored the second goal, and we never looked like getting back into it after that, did we? Last 10 minutes.
That was a bit of a killer blow, that was.
Yeah, it was, and you could see we sort of, I don't know, it knocked us back, didn't it, that goal? And, but it is only a 1-goal deficit, and we've come back from worse than that. Before Lyon are a decent side, we said. But anyway, Matthew's with us, Aidan, my friend. Good to see you. Robin says Daphne in a boot would have been better. I agree. It probably would have been better in a boot. LG says I'm the biggest Innsberger hater, but I don't blame her much for the goals. The second goal, I think the first goal she should save it. Honestly, I think she should. Daphne saves that, and I think she should save it. Any top goalkeeper should save that. Greg says Manu has no reflexes. She can only stop shots out. Even the ones that are quite close to her sometimes doesn't stop either, does she? Matthew says, I felt that Little was too backwards. She set the standard. We seem to be too fit. Fearful. I think in the first 25 minutes we were. Yes, I agree. But I thought we grew into the game after that and we got into grips with it. We just started slowly, didn't we? That was all. LG says the second Lyon goal was reminiscent of the Casado goal in the Real Madrid first leg. It was, Emily Fox is partly to blame in both cases because she just runs with the goals go about. I thought so as well. And I thought Steph Catley came across a little bit too late, reacted a bit late, and couldn't get it enough. It was a bit of a mix up at the back all round, really. Losing the ball where we did as well wasn't great in the first place. Greg says, I still can't believe we're chasing the game and we take off 2 strikers and bring on 2 midfielders. Yes, that was a strange. I was shocked by that. Okay, we didn't have a lot of forwards on the bench, I suppose. Stina was already on. Chloe was already on. We didn't really have a lot of other attacking options, I suppose. But I found that a little bit strange. I mean, Leslie Russo wasn't fit. To me, she shouldn't have started that game. She wasn't fit enough to play the game. It was a risk, and it backfired because she contributed virtually nothing in the game, really. And at that level, you need your best players to be at it. And if they're not, play someone else. And Stina had played well in midweek. She would have been a good option to start the game, and maybe bring Leslie on for the last half an hour because that's all she had in her, I think. And that was maybe a bad decision that the manager made there. She took a risk because she thinks Russo is obviously a number 1 choice, but unfortunately it didn't really pay off, did it? Joey says, evening boys, I was at the game and second half was better from us. It was, I thought Russo and Mariona were very quiet. McCabe looked slow. Well, I think McCabe looked slow. Our defence looked slow because of how fast their attack is. Not many. We don't face attackers that quick in the WSL. No. Katie McCabe looked slow because of how quick they were, and I don't think that's necessarily down to her on her own. I think it was the opposition as well. But you're right. She did look quite slow. Russo wasn't fit. I don't think that's why she was quiet. Mariona was very quiet actually. I don't know what was wrong with her. She didn't seem her normal self in that game all the way through, really. She took a penalty well, obviously. But other than that, she didn't contribute too much, did she? LG says, I think the biggest difference between us and Lyon is the physicality.
100%.
They were more physical. They were, and I thought they were quicker as well. They moved the ball forward quicker. They had pace, but maybe that, yeah, physicality a little bit. I would agree with you. Yeah. Joe says there, play rush goalie. Yeah, maybe play rush goalie in the second leg. Yeah, that might be a good idea. I don't know if Andreas knows what rush goalie is, but it's basically put an outfield player in goal and it can come out and do what they want, and then they go in goal when we're defending, and they can be goalkeeper. It's like an extra player. We used to do it when we were kids, but anyway, I'd be quite simple to do that actually. YouTube Sensor Free Speech says we can still win in Lyon. We had the chances, and another day we could have scored 2 or 3. Yeah, absolutely. Rene needs to be given a £20 million transfer budget to get 4 or 5 players to add to the squad. We need some new players in the squad. Yeah, I don't know how much money she's going to get. Matthew says Frida was shooting. We came back was Frida. Yeah, she had a lot of shots in the early part of the game, and then she didn't after that, did she? But anyway, there we go. YouTube says that Free Speech says, I put a light on? We can. Yeah, we can't hardly see exactly. We have got the light problem again. You need a light facing you, not above your head, because that doesn't really help. Matthew says Joe returned and literally saw the same team. Yeah, well, it was very similar, wasn't it? A lot of those players were there when Joe was there. Obviously, we know that. It does need a bit of an overhaul. Anyway, Angie's with us there doing it. Good to see. It's good to see you on the vlog as well. That was nice. LG says Jury is out with Beth Mead at this moment in time. Chloe should be the first choice right winger. Beth is hit or miss. But with Chloe, at least you know you're going to at least get a good cross. Yeah, I thought Beth played all right actually on Saturday. I thought she had a half-decent game, to be fair. But overall this season, I would say Chloe probably has got the edge at the moment. And so I thought it would be a draw. Yeah, I think the draw would have been probably okay as well. Greg said, at least the second leg, we've got nothing to lose. Just go for it. Yeah, absolutely. We've got nothing to lose other than not getting to the final, I suppose. LG says, if you want pace in your front line side, Olivia Smith, well, yeah, we've mentioned her a few times before. Maybe she might be on our radar. We'll have to see. Ange says, Stina should have been the starter. Yeah, I agree with you, because I don't think Leslie was fit. And Stina has got that little bit more pace to run in behind, and it may have been a different game, who knows. Matthew says, Mariona and Emily weren't themselves. They played the whole match before the Lyon game. Yeah, that could be a reason. Tiredness, absolutely. LG says, why didn't Sina attempt to lob Endler during the Lyon defence mess up? And this is why I don't rate her. That's the difference between her and De Mornay. Yeah, but De Mornay didn't score with that chip that she tried, did she? Although obviously she did score later on. But yeah, I don't know. I felt very frustrated at the end of that game, I've got to be honest, because I thought it was there for us to at least get a result to take over there. And it was so frustrating that we didn't. But as we've said, it's only one goal. We're only 1 goal off, and anything can happen in football. We've seen it plenty of times before. We went over to Lyon, of course, and scored 5 a couple of years ago. Yes, it's a different set of circumstances now, but you know, we have to look at any positives that we can. I mean, Andreas, obviously we've got the second leg to come on Sunday. What differences do you think we're going to have, first of all, to the lineup, if any? And also, as well, what do we need to do differently if we're going to turn this around? Because it's a big ask now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big mountain to climb for us. But the problem is the situation before the game is nearly the same as before the first leg. Lyon will sit back and wait. They have no intention to attack or to dominate the game. They can leave the ball to us and say, let's see what Arsenal does. And then we try to win the ball in midfield and counter-attack with our pacey forwarders and attackers. And that's a problem for us. So if we want to turn this around, then we need to have the lead very early. If it's 1-0 for us, then the whole circumstances changes and Lyon must attack and must do something. But if it's 0-0, they will sit back, wait, and they will hurt us with their counter attacks. Another problem I see is we didn't score from open play. We needed a penalty. Yes, it was a penalty when you see the TV pictures, but it was a lucky lucky situation, a lucky penalty for us that Endler made this mistake, or was 2 seconds too late with her fist, that she missed the ball. Yeah, we didn't score from open play, and we can't rely on another penalty there. We must score. We must create more chances. And the problem was also the squad depth in the attacking line. We couldn't sub in another attacker. So, but bringing what Greg said, bringing on a defensive midfielder when you are 2-1 down, that was strange. But this is something.
Yeah.
This is something that must change in the summer transfer window. Yeah. I mean, Lina Hurtig out, so another option that we were missing. And, that's also a problem for the second leg now. Leslie and Chloe 100% fit. I hope that 1 week more will help them. If yes, then both will start. We must avoid these mistakes in defense, and we must be aware how much pace they have with Chavinga, with Diani, with Dumonet, and that's
Right.
You must be aware of this, and maybe not play too open, and maybe a double pivot on the sixth position is needed. And of course, we can all only pray for Daphne that she will be back, but I don't think so. It was said 5 to 6 weeks, so I don't expect her to be back. If you ask me, I would say play Naomi.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout, Naomi. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And after all the bad games and all the critics, Manu's self-confidence is at the bottom. So of course you can't play a teenager who has never played a WSL game before in a Champions League semi-final. Yeah, I know, but the problem is there in goal, and we must try to dominate and to get an early goal. Then everything is open. But otherwise, I think Lyon is a too good side, and I think normally.
I think what we've got to be careful of is we can't go to. We can't be. We need to score. We need to score at least one goal, obviously. I mean, at least that would be extra time and potentially penalty. So we need to score a goal there. But I think it's important that we don't leave ourselves too open in the chase for the goal, because they will just pick us off and they'll get 2 or 3 goals on the counter attack and it's all over. I would be quite happy if it's 0-0 60 minutes into the game, because let them start to be a little bit worried then. They'll be worried then because they know we can score a goal at any time. We've got the quality in our squad to score a goal at any moment in that game. And we can do that. And Lyon don't need to score. So I don't think they're going to be that particularly... They're not going to come at us all guns blazing, are they? And look to get an early goal. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll be quite happy to sit back, let us have the ball, and like you said, try and play on a counter-attack. So, and if we overcommit because we're chasing a goal, I think that's a dangerous thing to do. I'd be quite happy just to keep it really tight, keep it 0-0, going into the second half even, 60 minutes, 65 minutes, keeping it 0-0, that's fine. Because it doesn't matter if we score in the first 5 minutes or we score in the last 5 minutes. We need that goal. And the earlier we score it, the more likely Lyon are to change the way that they're going to approach the game. If it stays 0-0, they're going to sit back and they'll be quite happy to do that probably. So I don't know. I don't necessarily. Yeah, an early goal would be fantastic. Of course it would. It would ease our nerves and make us all feel a lot more relaxed about it. But it would change the whole game. And I don't mind if we haven't scored an early goal, as long as we don't concede an early goal. Otherwise, we've pretty much done. So I would like to see us, keep it tight. Maybe do similar to what Lyon did on Saturday. Let them maybe sit back a little bit, soak it up and try to play more on the counter attack to get a goal, because if Lyon just sit back and defend, we are going to find it difficult to score against them, I think. I do think that, I thought, especially if Wendy Reynard's back, it's no good putting crosses in because she'll just head them all away. Even if she's not there, we found it difficult to create a lot of chances from open play. As you said, we got a goal from a penalty. We didn't create a lot from open play. Yes, 2 or 3 little opportunities, but I don't know. I'm not sure if going for it from the start is the right approach in this game.
No,
I would definitely go for the double pivot in midfield, definitely, to give us a solid base in there, and then try to play more on the counter attack maybe. And Wendy Reynard's great in the air, but she can definitely be got at on the ground if you get her turned and stuff like that. I think she can be vulnerable. We scored 5 when she was in the team a couple of years ago. So, but I don't know. We're in a difficult situation in this game because they've got the players to hurt us on the break, and we know if they score and they go 1-0 up, we're done. But equally, we've got hurt them. We saw it on Saturday. We created some chances. We had them worried for a good spell in the game. I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because the tactics in this second leg are going to be so important to how it works out. And I think Rene's got to get it right. She's got to get it right. She got it right against Real Madrid in the second leg. I know we were at home, but she got that spot on. This time she's got to come up with something special, and the players have got to be able to carry it out, but she's got to come up with a tactical plan, her and the staff, to get this right, because if we don't get our tactics right, we've got no chance. Is absolutely be crucial on Sunday that we do. They've got a week to work on it, so let's hope they come up with the right plan that we need, the right players to carry out the plan. And maybe if Manu's got to be in goal because Daphne's not fit, which seems likely, maybe stick 8 defenders in front of us so they don't get shot, and then try and get a goal on a counter attack. I don't know. We need to try and stop them having shots if Manu's in goal. Unfortunately, how are we going to do that? I don't know. I mean, Emma, how do you think the second leg is going to play out? Because I think it's so evenly balanced at the minute, and it's going to be a tactical battle this second leg. I mean, Joe knows what he's doing. We know that. And Rene, inexperienced at this top level in Europe, can she come up with a game plan to turn this tie around in the circumstances that we've got to face?
Well, we've seen now she's been willing to adapt across the whole season, haven't we? I mean, you say the defensive change was a bit of a strain. Leah Vauti came on. I would maybe be tempted to start with Kyra in the second leg, maybe give them something different to think about. I don't think she started in the first game, did she? If I remember rightly, I think I would remember be tempted to start her in the midfield alongside Kim, or if you want a double pivot. As you said, we want Daphne in goal. But she said there's a chance that she could play. We wouldn't want to risk her back. But I mean, we have to be a bit more clinical. We definitely had the chance. We showed they can be got at, but they carry such a threat on the counter. And you say about the Vauti's the decision to bring her on. It's interesting you say that. Well, look what happened with 10 minutes to go yesterday when Sonia Bompastor brought on Naomi Germa for who was it, for Natalie Bjorn, and then they went and conceded another 2 goals, and they've given themselves an absolute, obviously impossible task. They're going to a mountain to climb. Good thing is we're still in the tie. It'll be interesting. It'll be a test of Rene's mettle to see whether what she's done for us. If you'd offer, I know we still say we wanted to win trophies, but if you'd offered us second place in WSL and a Champions League semi-final at the start of the season, I'd still think we'd just snap your hand off. But ultimately now we want to make that step. This will be the ultimate test of her management, and we wish her all the best. Hopefully she'll make 2 or 3 changes. And whether or not she can take us to the next level remains to be seen. But I mean, what she's done so far, as you mentioned, the second against Real Madrid, we went for it from the off. But can you see Lyon are not Real Madrid? They'll sit back, they'll absorb, and they know they can hit us on the counter. So whether or not she can counter that remains to be seen. But we're giving ourselves a chance. I'd probably say, well, if you're giving me I don't know, score prediction is going to be difficult. I don't know. I'm not going to think about it just yet. But I would say we probably have about a 35-40% chance of progression.
Well, I mean, technically, when you look at it, we've probably still got a 50-50 chance because it's only 1 goal. And, we showed on Saturday that if we can raise our games enough level, we can cause them problems. Wayne says, very annoying to lose at home. Could be worse. At least it was 4-1. Exactly. I've got to be honest, that did slightly cheer me up a little bit yesterday when saw that game and stuff like that. I mean, it didn't really make up for us losing, but at least they haven't got at least they're unlikely to go through. That's one thing that is a bonus, I suppose. Joe says we started very slow. As Rene said, we need to be ruthless in Lyon. Well, we're going to have to be ruthless, aren't we? Because we need to score at least one goal. We may probably need more than one goal, but we'll see. Terry is well said. Good to see my friend. He says, "Good evening, Richard. Aldi, and Amar's head."
No, you can see me now. You can see me now.
We can we can see half of your head anyway. So I don't know whether your chair's a bit low, but anyway. We've got the other Joe with us as well. How you doing? Good to see you. John says, I'm confident we can do a lot better in the second leg. We raised that game in the second leg against Madrid, and I see us doing it again. Yeah, we were at home in the second leg against Madrid. That makes a difference, maybe. But yeah, I'm sure we'll play better overall on Sunday. But is it going to be enough? That's the question, I suppose, isn't it? LG says, I've heard someone say there are players left from the Joe Montemurro. Exactly, yeah. By contrast, Chelsea only have 3 players left during that same time period. A squad refresh is needed. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I agree with you. We do need it. Terry says, let's be honest, this loss was on Rene. Well, she's the manager. Of course, it always is. Joe says, it's a shame we didn't put Ilestead up front. Well, I did think that might happen, actually. When it was like 5-10 minutes to go, I'm thinking, is that going to happen? Is she going to throw Amanda on up there? Because, you know, it might have been a better option than bringing Leah Volti on. It might have been. Pump the long balls forward. They didn't have Wendy Reynolds head them out. Who knows? Maybe it could have brought us another goal, but we'll never know. And Rene made that decision, and it didn't work. Matthew says, Rene wasn't on the field missing the chances that we had. No, that's true. She wasn't, but she did make the substitution. She did pick the team and stuff like that. So she's responsible for a lot of it. Joe says, Ukmed Rene said, well, I think that's what Terry thinks anyway. Ryan says, did we get an emergency loan keeper? Well, no, we should get, I don't know if we can. I don't think we can now, but I would like to be honest, surely we must, I don't know, we must have who was it that, I don't know, serves the tea or something? They must be a better goalkeeper.
Serves the tea.
Surely we've got somebody at the club who can be a better goalkeeper. Surely we have. We must have. We're Arsenal. Come on, we must have. There's got to be somebody there. Terry says, why do we bother having a keeper? Well, yeah, exactly. I agree. If it's going to be... No, I said that the other day. I wouldn't bother playing a goalkeeper. If Daphne's not fit, I'd maybe play Amanda Ilestead as an extra outfield player and just not bother with a goalkeeper, and she can just head everything away, and that's it. Anyway, let's see what happens. Joe says, heard people say Arsenal were shocked at the tempo of the game. I don't think Arsenal will be shocked next Sunday. I don't know if we were shocked by the tempo of the game. I think we started off we showed them too much respect maybe at the beginning, and then we started to realise in the second half, actually, you know what, we can do something here. And we changed our approach, and it was better. That's what we need to do, obviously, next week. We need to start that game with the same confident mindset that we can do it right from the start of the game. And then let's see where it takes us. And obviously, I'll say tactically, we've got to get it right. Colin says, throw caution to the wind, play Mead, Kelly and Russo with the same effect of the second half of the return of Wimbledon. Yeah, but I don't know. I think that would be risky going too gung-ho in this game. I say I'd be quite happy for us to keep it 0-0. For 60 minutes and see how we can then change it at that point to get the goal. Terry says, looking forward to Saturday. Who's Spurs playing on Saturday?
I have no idea.
No, I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure Terry is looking forward to that. Joe says, if you could pick the team, who would you play? Players are available only. Oh, well, we can only pick players that are available only, I suppose, can't we? Well, I suppose in goal it's going to have to be Manu, isn't it? Because we've got no one else. And Daphne's not fit, so it would have to be her, even though I wouldn't obviously pick her if we had a choice. The defence would probably be the same. I wouldn't really change that. I'd probably have, maybe Kyra and Kim Little in midfield. Then I'd maybe put Mariona in Frida Marnham's position, just so she's a bit more central. She can have more impact on the game. And then if Russo is fit, you start her up front if she's 100% fit. I'll play Chloe Kelly. Who would we put on the left? Probably Caitlin Ford, because on her day she's a good player. She's playing pretty well overall. So I'd maybe make that one change. No, 2 changes, isn't it? Because Mariona would go central and Kyra would come into midfield and see if that might be a better structure for us to start the game with, and I don't know, maybe go from there. I mean, Andreas, what team would you pick? Bearing in mind we can only pick players that are available, as we said. We can't pick Daphne because she's probably not going to be fit, is she? But
yeah, that's the problem. the options are not too much. And I would also give Kyra a chance, and if possible, play Chloe Kelly from the start. But then, yeah, it's difficult, and everybody says we can turn it around. It's only 1 goal difference. We did it before. Yes, we did it at home, and Lyon is not Real Madrid. Lyon is the far better side. It's Lyon and Barcelona is the top of European club football in women's football, and then there is longer time nothing, and then maybe there are teams like Chelsea, us, Bayern Munich, etc. But they are really the elite in European football. So I think if we don't score first 60 minutes, as you say, it won't be 0-0 after 65 minutes. Then Lyon will score. So we need a goal in first half. And I saw the game, the second leg Bayern Munich had in Lyon. They lost 4-1. Yeah, the first half Bayern was really competitive. They were 1-0 up, but then in the first minutes of the second half, they had a breakdown, and Lyon scored the equalizer, the 2-1, the 3-1. I don't think that Lyon will not score over the 90 minutes. They will score 1-2 goals. So will we be able to score twice or 3 goals there?
No, it's going to be difficult, yeah.
Just having in mind that we didn't score from open play, so I'm not so optimistic as you all are. I think Lyon will go through, but of course, if we can turn around, I will be extremely happy on Sunday. But I'm not convinced that there are not enough options to the team. And I know Chelsea is probably out after the 4-1 in Barcelona. But if you look on the Chelsea squad, there are options. If we had these options, and you could say, "Oh, let's try this. Let's try this." What can we change? We can bring.
But they still offered not. They still didn't offer much against Barcelona. You see how they snuffed out the threat. Barcelona defended superbly, though, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, but
they offered nothing against Barcelona.
We are lacking options, and this is what I said. There must be a turnaround in the summer transfer window, but that's too late for the Lyon game.
That's it is. But I don't. No, absolutely is, and we do need better options going forward if we are going to, we're in a semi-final, which is okay. At the beginning of the season after we lost to Bayern Munich, I don't think too many of us would have expected us to be in a semi-final, but we've got there now, and obviously there's no point being in a semi-final if you don't win it. So we need to find a way, but going forward, if we're going to be competing at this level on a regular basis, getting to semi-finals, going that next step, getting to finals, winning these big trophies, winning the WSL, competing to win the Champions League, we are going to need, I think, a reasonably big overhaul in the squad, aren't we? There's a lot of players that we really need to get rid of, put sentiment to one side, forget what they've done for the club in the past. It's almost irrelevant. What can they offer in the future if we are going to compete at this level? And I think there's 4 or 5, maybe more players in this squad that we need to move on and replace with better, younger players. And if we do that, we're not going to do it all in one window, I don't imagine. But if we do that over the next year or so, maybe we'll have a chance of being there, not just on the edges of winning these trophies, but actually taking that step. And it is about players at the end of the day, isn't it? It's about having the squad, like you said with Chelsea. They've got the players to, they're going to win the WSL. Looks likely again. Okay, they're not going to reach the final of the Champions League, probably not. But we are still behind Chelsea. We are still not at that level. It looks as though we're not at the level of Lyon. We probably aren't in that level of Barcelona, let's be honest. And even if we did manage to turn this around and get to the final, I know it's a one-off game and you never know. To beat Barcelona in a final would be extremely difficult with the squad that we've got. But, we need to be there to try and do it, because who knows, football can, one-off game, anyone can beat anybody. So, I wouldn't rule it out, but yeah, I don't think we're quite at that level yet in terms of the squad at all. I don't think we are. And if we do need to not just obviously the management team and the people behind the scenes, but us as fans as well. I think we have to stop being so sentimental with these players and saying, you know, do we want to like, you know, it's mentioned before about the players that were here when Joe was manager that's still here now, and yes, maybe a couple of them it's worth keeping. Katie McKay, for example, we wouldn't necessarily want to get rid of her. Leah Williamson, but there are some that we do need to replace, and we've got to put that sentiment to one side. Do we want to be successful, or do we just want to have a nice, happy family? We want to be successful because we are. That's what we need to build for. And I don't care if it upsets people. You know, look, we got rid of Viv last summer. Look at the reaction to that. You know, Mariona's come in, and I personally think it was the right decision, looking at the fact that Viv's hardly played much this season, and look where Man City are compared to us. So, you know, it was the right decision. But this is where we need to separate ourselves a little bit from individual players and look at the bigger picture. The club is more important. What does a club need to go to that next level, take that next level up? We've been coming third, semi-finals here, there, and stuff. We want to get first, and we want to get to finals, Champions League fight. That's where we should be aiming for as a club. Yeah. We need to stop the sentiment, make the right decisions, get the right players in, and move people on that are no longer at the level that they need to be at for where we want to go. And we need to all of us need to accept that and say, you know what, thank you for all you've done for us as a club. We'll never forget you. But, you know, players like, you know, look, we did it with Jordan Nobbs eventually, maybe hang on to her a bit too long. Jem Beattie, I know Terry don't want to hear it, but we probably hang on to her a little bit too long. And we've had a history of doing that, and we almost are doing it, we're doing it still. And it's not the right way, is it? I mean, Emma, what team would you pick then on Sunday with who's available, who's fit and stuff? What changes would you make to the team that played at the weekend, if any? And how would you do it differently? I know it's not our decisions to make, but it's interesting to know what we all think.
Yeah, let's also not forget that Lyon also has to play a game midweek. I don't know why they have to play one in the domestic league midweek. So it'll be interesting to see how they rest players ahead of the second leg as well. But yeah, I mean, we all obviously want to see the change in goalie. But if Gaffney doesn't, then, you know, we just have to make sure what we do and just hope for the best, really. And have to be squad depth has been an issue. But if you consider what was left behind by the predecessor and what she's done with the current squad, she's done really well. Now it's all about the summer. You know, I see everyone says, "Oh, we're not at Chelsea's level, we're not at Barcelona's level, we're not at Lyon's level." Well, I don't think there's absolute massive golfers everybody speaks of. But with regards, we need to sign at least 4 or 5 players. We need to definitely get there because we've shown we are competitive, and now it's just about making that next step forward. And with regards to the team on Sunday, I would start Kyra. I probably would keep the same defensive backline that's been worked pretty much the whole season. I don't see why we should want to change that. Maybe give Kim a rest. I don't know. Maybe make Kyra and Leah in midfield, or I don't know. Maybe even give Frida a rest. You know, she. I don't know. But going forward as well, it's hard where you'd not for Katie, for example, maybe on the left wing, and maybe Caitlin was a bit lucky. You know, she got an early yellow card. She's at risk of suspension. Maybe was lucky, maybe not to be sent off. Maybe you could give her a rest and start Chloe Kelly instead. So maybe 3 or 4 changes, but go with what's worked, and maybe just try and play to your strengths and try and as we've worked all season and try to give something different to think about. But let's just wait and see what happens. But you know, we can only hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can do as fans, I suppose, is hope for the best, and let's hope that somehow we can find, you know, what we need when we get there and the game goes our way, because, you know, there's no reason why it can't. Matthew says it's all the same players that they need to play with some guts. No, absolutely, of course they do. I'm sure they will. Terry says I'd put the kick bag in goal and play 11 out of 4 players.
Oh my God!
Well, yeah. Well, you know them. When you do training and you got them things that you make a wall with, don't you? Put one of them in goal, because that'd be just a goal. We might be a better idea.
Yeah.
LG says, if you told me when Renee took over that we'll finish second and reach the Champions League semi-final.
That's exactly what I was saying.
She's done an exceptional job considering the concept. We'll judge her next season. I mean, if you just look at it from the perspective of we were 6th in the league, whenever it was when she took over, we just got hammered by Bayern Munich in the Champions League. When you look at it like that, yes, to finish second and reach the semi-final has been she couldn't probably have done a lot more from when she came in. I agree, but is that good enough for Arsenal? No, I don't think it is. I think we should be, we're not going to, unless we do turn this around against Lyon, unless we have an exceptional game in the final against Barcelona, we're not going to win a trophy. And if you take away the Continental Cups, which was great, if you're looking at major trophies, we haven't won a major trophy for quite a while now.
6 years, yeah.
Arsenal need to, we need to be competing and getting these things over the line. Can Renee do it? I don't know. I think you're right. I don't think we're going to be able to judge her fully until she's had a full summer and a whole of next season. And in the context of what she's done from when she took over to now, yes, she's done a really good job. There's no doubt. And she's sorted a few issues out that were obviously there before, and we played generally a lot better football. But I still think that the season ultimately, if we don't turn it round on Sunday, would have been a failure. It would have been a failure because at the start of the season, we'd won 2 Continental Cups. We went into this season, we qualified for the Champions League. I expected us to win an FA Cup. I expected us to, put in a better challenge for the league, to possibly win that. So I don't know. I still look on this season as a little bit of a failure, maybe. Greg says our defence looked nervous, knowing they had a crap goalkeeper behind them. Well, I don't know if that was the reason or was it the pace they were having to face. I don't know. Maybe a bit of both. Wayne says, we agree in second goal should have been saved. Well, I'm not sure that it was close to her. The deflection didn't help Manu, to give her credit for that. It wasn't, it was a difficult one to save, but it was quite close to her, wasn't it? When it went past her, it wasn't either corner, it was quite close to her. And had she been quicker to react, yes, the deflection didn't help. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to give her the benefit of that for the second one. The first one, 100% she should save it. 100% that first goal is her fault, and I'm not having any other thing to say. 170 Gunner says Manam reminds me of Xhaka. Good when she has time and space, but doesn't have the quality that's needed for us to progress. Well, I mean, I don't think Xhaka had that problem, did he? He's not done too bad since he left Arsenal either, has he? So I don't know. But I like Frida Marnham, but I kind of agree that is she the top level player to win your big trophies? I don't necessarily think she is. I think she offers a lot. She scores a lot of goals. She's a good squad player, absolutely. And I would keep her as a squad player next season, but we need an upgrade. She's not the only one, but she is a one player that we do need an upgrade. LG says, my overall feeling on the game is that it could have been better, it could have been worse. Absolutely. And maybe the Leo Volti substitution could have been to stop it from being worse. And maybe Renee thinking that a 1-goal defeat is turnaroundable, a 2-goal defeat isn't. And was that, and then that's, to me, that's the wrong mindset to have. Your mindset should be, let's try and get a goal and make it 2-2. But I suppose losing 2-1 is better than losing 3-1. And maybe that was the fear at that point. So maybe that could explain it. So maybe you're right. It could have been worse. Absolutely. It could have been. We could have been 3-0 down in 20 minutes. So it could have been a lot worse. But it's not a good position to be in. Johnson, I hope the Lyon pitch is
1,000 times better.
Yeah, will be. Otherwise, I have a big advantage. Like Madrid. Yeah, I'm sure their pitch will be a lot
shocking. Shocking Madrid.
Yeah. Terry says, box. Oh, I was saying boxing is there at Spurs. Oh, right. Okay, that'd be good. I'll have to see it. What's Joe says, what do people make of the ref? Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? What do we make of the ref? Vandras, I'll start with you. What did you make of the ref? You was at the game, so maybe you've got a better option. What did you think of the referee overall?
A few strange decisions, and especially in the first half, I thought nearly every free kick is for Lyon, and but to be fair, the referee didn't decide the game. There were a few strange decisions, and most decisions were pro Lyon, but it was not that you can say with a better referee we would have won the game. No, she didn't decide.
I think she was good. She judged the way.
No, I mean, I never think referees really decide games anyway, but I thought my overall impression of the referee was she didn't really know what she was doing. She was out of her depth refereeing a game at that level. Maybe that wasn't true. That was just the impression that she got. She seemed to be running around the pitch almost as though she didn't know what was going on. that was the impression I got. And some of the decisions that she made kind of made me believe that was maybe the case as well. I don't know anything about her. I don't know if she's ref games at that sort of level before. I'm assuming she must have done. I don't know. But it looked as though she was a rabbit caught in the headlights a little bit. And she didn't really know what she was doing. And I thought the occasion, the size of the game was too much for her. And I thought that, yes, it didn't affect the result. It didn't mean, it wasn't why we lost the game. Absolutely not. But I thought the referee was absolutely terrible. I didn't think she had a clue what she was doing most of the time. And I think the players kind of got that impression as well. VAR didn't necessarily help her a lot, I suppose, because the offside goal was given, the penalty was given where no one really appealed for it, which comes down on the referee to a certain degree. But I don't know. Now, I didn't like the referee's performance. I didn't think she was up to the job. But anyway, it is what it is. And it didn't affect the result. You're right, but yeah, it wasn't great, was it? Ryan says, didn't we beat them 5-1 away? Here's hope. Yeah, we did beat them 5-1 away a couple of years ago. Different set of circumstances. It was in a group game and whatever. But yeah, I'll be amazed if I'd love it if we win 5-1 on Sunday, but I'll be amazed if that is what we do. But anyway, we don't need to win 5-1, do we? Let's be honest. 3-1 will do. Let's be honest. So let's just do that. Terry says, when we beat them last time in Paris, we had a half decent manager, but now we ain't. Well, I don't know, but I don't know if that was just the reason. We had a half decent manager that nobody seemed to like last time we beat them 5-1. So I don't know. But there we go. What else have we got here? Michael's obviously said, you get one of the best attacking midfielders in world football from Barca, and you set her up to play as a holding midfielder in a semi-final versus Lyon. Arsenal got what they deserve. No, I kind of do agree with you. And I said when we talked about what changes we'd make, my biggest change would be to play Mariona further forward in the second leg. Absolutely. I don't know what that was about. She's played there a few games as well before. I agree with you, absolutely. She should be playing much more higher up the pitch, 100%. I'd love to see her in that number 10 position. I think that's where she's probably best. But yeah, that was another strange decision by the manager in this game. But again, would that have made the difference? I don't know. Maybe it would have done. We'll never know, I suppose. We'll see on Sunday, maybe. Greg says, Lyon are a good side, but they only scored through dodgy keeping, and we won most of the midfield battles. We up our game a bit. We can take. No, I agree. I think we can. And yes, it was too. I would say it was two poor defensive bits of play that cost us the 2 goals. And yes, that's true. But they took advantage of it, and that's what great teams do, don't they? And we'll need to do the same in the second leg, won't we? If they make mistakes, we've got to take advantage of it. Joe says, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, win after. I agree. Yeah, get rid of. No, actually, no. Don't get rid of the dog. Just don't bring the dog to work. Leave the dog at home. That's it. Don't get rid of him. He's nice. He's a cute dog. Leave him at home. You don't need to go bring your dog to work day every day, do you? Michael says, still don't know how good Lyon are. They never bothered to get out of third gear. Having said that, they didn't show anything to suggest they could get past Barca, even in a one-off final. Well, no, I mean, I wasn't. I mean, I thought Lyon did enough. They showed enough in times to know what a good side they are. But I agree. Do we know how good they are? Maybe not. But hopefully we won't find out, because we'll beat them in the second leg and we won't see it again. Joe says, at the point Jonas left, I was resigning to probably not qualifying for Champions League and going out of the Champions League much earlier. Sorry. The fact that we are where we are is a success for me.
It's not bad.
I know exactly. If you look at it from that perspective, you're right. But if you look at it in the bigger picture, we're Arsenal, and this season hasn't been a success unless we win the Champions League. It's not really been a success. It'd been an okay season. We'd have finished second, qualified for the Champions League again. Disappointing in the FA Cup, disappointing in the Continental Cup, and could be frustration in the Champions League ultimately. But let's see. It's good. It's a good season from where we were, but overall, it's not a good season from an Arsenal perspective, I don't think. But I suppose it is what it is. Ryan says maybe they are more shaky at home. Well, no, maybe they are. I'm not sure what their home record is, but I don't know. We'll see. LG says, like I said before, we need a few more Marionas, and unfortunately, I think currently she's head and shoulders above everyone else in the club. Oh, absolutely, she is. Yeah, there's no doubt. She's the best player we've got. But yeah, maybe we do need a couple more like her. Not that there's too many of them about that we could get potentially, but anyway, unless Barcelona want to sell us a few more, I'm sure they've got a few knocking around, haven't they? We might be able to get one or two more. If they want to sell us a few more, we're quite happy. Terry says we like the men's team. We need a new manager first, about 6 players at least.
We don't need a new manager. Sorry, we don't need a new manager.
Well, we'll see. Joe says, who do you think needs to go in the summer? Oh, well, after team, no. I would be looking at Kim Little. I would be looking at Amanda Lena Hurtig. I would, as much as it pains me to say, I'll be looking at Stina because she's not going to play enough minutes. Because Leslie Russo, yeah, obviously Manu. I mean, Christ, Manu. I'll fly it back to Austria, wherever it goes, Germany. So yeah, you're looking at least those players, aren't you? I'm trying to think who else maybe. Who would you get rid of, Andreas, in the summer? Who do you think's a priority to not just get rid of, but we need to replace? It's not we're just getting rid of them. We need to upgrade, is what it's about, isn't it? It's not we're just getting rid of them and not replacing them. Otherwise, we're going to be in a worse situation. We need to upgrade. Who would you upgrade? And obviously, Manu, we've already upgraded, but we need a better backup goalkeeper, don't we?
Yeah, that's the right word. We need to upgrade our squad. Yeah, I think Amanda will go, and probably Laia Codina might go. She missed part of the season with injury. Then Kim has extended for 1 year, but for me, she shouldn't be a starter next season. Leah Walty is 32 now. That's a question.
That's right.
We should upgrade on the number 6 position as a holding midfielder, maybe from the US. This player, some coffee or so, could be someone. I agree. I would keep Frida, but we need to upgrade on this position too. I'm not sure about Beth. Her last games were better, but if there is an offer for her and she asked the club to go, then don't hold her back. It's hard to say for all she has done for us and how good she was, but yeah, that's the problem. She's not at this level, and so the other players too, and there are a lot of positions we need an upgrade, and of course Lena Hurtig, we shouldn't offer her a new contract. A good player, she had an impact in the 2 or 3 games she was available, but she's available for 2-3 games, and then now she will be out for 3 months, and then she's back for 2 games and out for 3 months again. You can't win anything with so injury prone.
I'll be amazed if Lena's still here next season. Let's be honest, I'll be amazed. But nothing would surprise me, I suppose, at this club. But anyway, I think that's what needs to happen. Will it happen? I'm not sure. I mean, Amar, who do you think we need to? Well, no, not get rid of, but replace. I would say is better, isn't it? Who would you like to see?
Well, you've listed. You pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's hard to see. I mean, look, defensively, I think we're sound. Look, we've got one of the best defensive records since the turn of the year. So I don't think we need. Maybe we've got right back or centre backs, left back. Maybe we need another. Maybe 1 or 2 defenders at best, just to give the likes of Steph and Emily some competition. I mean, definitely need a goalkeeper. I'd probably say we need another attacking midfielder complement, or if Kim's going to go and you say Frida or somebody sit alongside Frida, another defensive midfielder to upgrade on Leah Valti, as you said, is 32, and then maybe probably 1 or 2 more centre forwards. I mean, I wouldn't say, you say major. Yeah, we're not talking about a full overhaul. We don't need a complete overhaul. We need just those key areas. And look, we find the right players that we want to join the club, and they can work to, as we've seen under Renee in the time that she's been at the club. I think we can definitely make that next step, but it's about finding those right players, getting rid of. I wouldn't say they've done well for those players who've served the squad, but it's time for them to move on and pursue new challenges. But if we want us to take us to the next level, we can't be carrying those I don't want to call them passengers, but it feels like we're just being carried and they're not really getting the game time, and then either they're being sent on loan or shipped elsewhere or whatever happens to them. But yeah, we could just nail down those starting positions and give those players some competition, 5 or 6 new players in the summer, and there's no reason why we can't start to go to the next level and compete for the major trophies once again.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. LG says we've run on to Zinsberger too long.
Yeah.
Definitely have. Yeah, there's no doubt. Terry says Renee should pick all of the youngsters so she can give another excuse for not winning. I don't know about that. So Ryan says Zinsberger was a good goalkeeper, definitely, but time is up. Maybe better in a smaller team. Yeah, maybe that's probably true. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Matthew says if both are fit, I would prefer Palova and Kyra over the older players. They haven't cut it before. No reason they would do it. And yeah, I would like to see Vicky back if she's fit to start. I'm not sure if she is yet. She's done pretty well recently, but is she ready for a game like that? I would play her if she is. I'm just not sure she is. Matthew, I'd like to be wrong though. Yeah, well, I think we all want to be wrong, don't we? Aiden says, I think we'll turn it around second leg. Well, let's hope you're right. Terry says, yeah, let's all finish seconds and be the first loser again, just like Arteta. Well, yeah, exactly. That's what it seems to be. Graps with Eddie, my friend, he says, what are your thoughts regarding the second leg? Well, we've been talking about it for the last 20 minutes, mate. Well, yeah, we think we're gonna go through, of course. Joe says Arsenal need a good transfer market this summer. Yeah, we do, absolutely. We need a really good transfer market, there's no doubt. Matthew says we need a younger squad with players from their national sides. Yeah, absolutely. Grat says I think they can turn it around. Let's say a 2-0 win. Well, a 2-0 win would be great, wouldn't it? That would put us in the final. That would be brilliant. Matthew says Marnham used to go forward and shoot. Now she's doing tricks and flicks. Seems a totally different player. Well, I still think she shoots, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure she's the answer necessarily. Grat says, by the way, heads up to Dunsyarden. They to go to England again in Conference League. Be aware of their supporters. Chelsea are on the other end. Are they playing Chelsea? Are they in the? Is that the semi-final?
Jurgen.
That'll be interesting, wouldn't it? I think that could be quite. I'm sure Chelsea.
Yeah, and then.
Matthew says she gave us a free penalty. The referee, all she did, yeah. Well, it wasn't really her, it was VAR, wasn't it? The referee didn't give it. LG says, this is why I love this channel. No nonsense, no sentiment. We tell it like it is. Frida is good as a squad player, not start. Yeah, exactly. Well, we'd like to think that's what we do. We want to try and say that. Terry says, I thought the ref was great. She gave us a penalty and kept us in the game for the second. Well, she didn't, did she? The VAR gave the penalty, so she didn't, did she? Greg says, I like the Emma house tour. Yeah, we've seen it been around. We've seen it quite a lot, haven't we? It'd be like what we should do is we should record. It'd be like a good.
This is the best line, isn't it?
Guided tour.
It would be an estate agent video.
This is the best lighting. I've never seen it.
Joe says, remember, back-to-back games don't always work out. No, that's true, actually. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. So you think, 3-1 to Arsenal. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? We would love that. We would absolutely love that. Ryan says, Renee has won 3 out of 4 manager of the month. Yeah, but manager of the months don't really mean anything, do they? It's trophies at the end of the season that matter, not manager of the month. I'm sorry. You can win manager of the month every single month of the season. If you don't win a trophy, it's absolutely irrelevant. And I would put them all in the bin if it was me. But there you go. John says there, Arteta is the best manager behind Pep. Well, that's a very bold statement, actually. That is a very bold statement. But,
well, if he wins the Champions League, we'll see, yeah.
He might prove to be that. Yeah, we'll see. LG says another critical position is DM. I think so. Yeah, I don't think we have a destroyer in the team. No, we don't really, do we? We don't. But anyway, that's something we can look at. Vicky Palova's with us. Would like to see a top quality centre back. Catley is a makeshift centre back. No, I agree. She is. She's done well there, but she's more of a left back, isn't she? We know that. But then I suppose if Lotta's fit, Lotta and Leah, that's not a bad partnership, is it? I know Lotta's had a terrible season for injuries. Greg says we need another good creative midfielder and a top class striker. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. We need another Mariota in midfield, and we need a Bunny Shaw type player, don't we? Not Bunny Shaw, because I don't like her particularly, but a Bunny Shaw. Joe says we have Abby Mac. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, is she ready? She's scored for England. Who knows? Terry says we need Salty. Well, I don't know about that. It's not going to happen. One something going to say some of our longest serving players can't be starters next season. McCabe, Marnham, Little Mead, maybe even Williamson. Well, I think McCabe's probably okay. I think Williamson's okay. The others, I would agree with you there. Mead's hit and miss at the minute. Mine, I'm the same. Matthew said, I don't follow gossip, so I don't know why.
Yeah, that was annoying.
She was I think it was. She just needed to go back to America, didn't she? I don't know what the reasons were, but yeah, she was class. You're right. We've not really replaced her, have we? LG says we should sign Olivia Smith, and we were the favourites to sign her 2 months before she went to Liverpool. Yeah, no, you're right, and we'll see what happens. I'd like us to sign her. Obviously, we've seen how good she is. Ryan's agreeing with you there, absolutely. Matthew says, bring that for the next match. Yeah, maybe we could do. Yeah, ship them across there, get them to be in the VAR box. Great. So I was just heading out the showers when I heard you talking about Duns Garden and Chelsea. I hope to get some tickets for the home leg, but I guess it will be. I would imagine it will be quite a big game over there. Vicky says, is DVD fit for the next leg? Well, we're all praying. We're all wishing, we're all rubbing our little genie balls and stuff. She's going to be fit, but it seems unlikely. I would be amazed. I'd be amazed if she is. Greg says, why don't we play with a sweeper second leg, a sweeper keeper? Just anybody but Manu would be my guess. But I don't know. Let's see. I mean, we are going to have to give some score predictions for this game because obviously. We need to give a score prediction. What do we think, Andreas? What is your score prediction for Sunday? Are we going to do it? Are we going to be in the final, or is it going to be more heartbreak for Arsenal?
I know what you all want to hear, and we should be optimistic. We should say we can do it, but if I'm honest, no, I don't think that we will go to the final. And as I said, we are missing the options to change anything, and the Lyon side seems to be too strong. As I said, I saw them twice live now, and I saw how they won their second leg against Bayern. So, no, I'm afraid Lyon will win again, and with our goalkeeper and with the defense lacking pace against their pacey wingers, it will be 2 or 3-1 for Lyon. I'm sorry. If I'm wrong,
don't worry.
I will be very happy to be wrong, but I think Lyon will win this second leg too.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking they might be right. Joe says 3-1 to Lyon. Once the guys have gone 4-0 to Lyon. I mean, no one seems that confident apart from our old friend Grat there, who's hang on, I'll get a comment up in a minute. Here we go. He's still going 2-0 win for Arsenal. Wow, that would be something special, wouldn't it? Amar, what's your score prediction then for Sunday? Are we going to do it?
I mean, it's tough to not see them keeping them quiet, isn't it? I think we'll be good. We'll give a good account of ourselves. I think we'll probably just fall short. I think we'll probably go again. I think it'll be a draw. I'll say 1-1.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm kind of expecting, a draw, if I'm honest. I don't know. Grat says Blacksteady has to put the nail in the coffin. That'd be nice. That would be nice. Greg says 2-0 if DVD in goal, or we'll have to pray for penalties. Well, yeah, she's quite good at saving penalties, Manu, funnily enough. John says Arsenal win on penalties. You've heard it here first. I hope you're right. I hope you are right. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Terry says my heart says 1-4. A reality season over until Ahmed Rene. Ryan says let's push the Manu plays a blinder. I mean, obviously my heart's saying that we'll win 2-0 and go through, but unfortunately my head is saying that from what I saw in that first leg, I think a draw away is probably the best we can maybe hope for, and it's not going to be enough. That's my feeling. But 90 minutes of football, we've seen stranger things happen before, so I wouldn't rule it out that we can't go there and get the result that we need. And yeah, maybe extra time, penalties, if we can sneak a 1-0 or a 2-1, it's possible. It is possible, but I would say unlikely, realistically, as much as I want us to go through, and it would be amazing to do it. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure if we're quite good enough to beat them away and go through. That's why I thought the first leg on Saturday was so important that we got a good result. Even a draw wouldn't have been too bad because then it puts more pressure on Lyon. Now there's no real pressure on Lyon. They don't even need to score. They can just play out a 0-0 draw. I don't think they will, but you know what I mean. There's no pressure on them now. We had the opportunity to put pressure on them and we didn't take it. And now it's a big job. I mean, if we do this, if Rene turns this around, not just Rene but the players, if we do turn this around and get to the final, then you know, any doubts that anybody's got about Rene, any doubts that anybody's got about the team, we would need to push them to one side, because that would be an incredible result, an incredible performance. And, you know, credit would have to be given to everybody if we can do it. But I'm not convinced right now that we've got enough about us to go over there and do it, but who knows? We've seen strange things in football. Look at the Man United game the other night against Lyon.
Yeah, that was bonkers.
You know what I mean? Who saw that coming? Nobody. So, you know, there's no reason why
bonkers,
we can't do it. Yeah, exactly. Strange things happen in football. It's a strange game sometimes. LG's gone 2-2. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw, I've got to be honest. Grat says several misses and offsides from our people started getting annoyed and furious. And then when it happens, Black Sentinel strike at 94-32. Well, if that happens, we'll certainly talk about that next week. Joe says either way, whoever gets to the final will get their shorts pulled down.
Wow.
So yeah, you are probably right, Joe. Let's be honest, but we need to give ourselves the opportunity for that to happen to us by being in the final, don't we? Because anything can happen. A one-off game, anything can happen, and we are good enough. If we play at our top level, we potentially could beat them if they maybe don't have a great day. It happens in football. We've seen it all the time. So let's just get there first and worry about the final after and see how it goes. But yeah, we need to be there first, don't we? Wayne says, as a new sporting director, mention anything about the women's summer window at all? Not that I'm aware of. No, not that I'm aware of, but I'm sure there will be activity going on. I'm sure Rene will be demanding it. Joe says, yeah, that's the reality. Barca looks on stuff, but they do. But everyone has a bad game. Didn't Real Madrid beat Barcelona recently? We beat Real Madrid. So, you know,
Levante beat them as well. Levante.
Yeah, there you go. You see, we can do it, but we need to beat Lyon first. Let's not worry about Barcelona yet.
No, exactly. One game at a time.
Exactly, one at a time. LG says Lyon and Chelsea are interested in Olivia Smith. Yeah, but she won't want to go to either of those two, will she? She'll want to come to Arsenal. Of course she will. Matthew says, I like these optimistic scores, so I'm going for it as well. 2-0 to Arsenal. Good stuff. That's what we like to hear, don't we? Joe says, Barca is fighting good. Yeah, but they are, but they haven't played us yet, have they? So let's not worry about it. 170 Gun says, doesn't the women often has the same agent as them? Sometimes they do, yeah, not always, but it's a bit different in the women's game, isn't it, the way it works. Terry says, Madrid beat Barca, there's always a chance. Exactly, there's always a chance. Ryan says, yes, Chelsea are interested in everyone. Yeah, that's true. They are interested in everyone. Yeah, that's true. Greg says, get your flight plans for Lisbon. We're on our way there. Well, you're having a holiday in Lisbon, mate. That'd be good. I'm sure you'll enjoy your holiday in Lisbon. Whether or not Arsenal will be playing in Lisbon while you're there is another matter. But anyway, get your flights booked anyway, because Lisbon's a lovely place to go anyway. So get that sorted. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. I would love to see us do it. It would be amazing to see us turn it around. But I've got to be honest, I just don't think we're quite there yet.
No. Yeah, fair enough.
Where we are as a club at this moment in time, I don't think we're quite at that level. I don't think we're quite at the level of a Lyon or a Barcelona or a Chelsea. I just don't think we're quite. We're in the next level down, but we need to make that next step forward. And that's where we need to start looking in the summer to do it. But I say football's a strange old game. Who knows? So Champions League, we are probably not going to be in a final now, and it's going to be rather upsetting and disappointing, as it was a couple of years ago when we got so close. Will we get that close again? We were so close, wasn't we, last time? Can we at least? What I want to see us do on Sunday is score the first goal in that game, at whatever point it is, and at least give us some optimism that we can do it. Like we did against Wolfsburg in the semi-final last time. We scored first, we were in front, and we had hope that we could do it. That's all I want to see. And if we can build on that and go through, fantastic. And if we end up not going through, at least we had that little bit of that moment where we could enjoy it. I do want to see us score first on Sunday and then see where we go from there. And at least
what are you going with, Richard? What's your score prediction?
I do think it will be a draw. I'm going to say I think the 2-2 that LG said, I kind of quite like that. I think we might be 2-1 up, and I think Lyon will end up scoring in the last 10 minutes. And I've just got a feeling that might happen, and it'll be so frustrating. But it would give us that moment, wouldn't it, when we're 2-1 up and we're getting excited? I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'll say 2-2, but I'm hoping for a 3-1. That would be good, wouldn't it? But I don't know. But let's I'll go. I think it will be 2-2. Let's be honest. Grat says match day on Sunday. It's Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday at 5.
5 o'clock.
Is it 5 o'clock?
5:30. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Yeah, 5 o'clock our time. So I don't know what time that'll be your time. You're now different to us, are you? Not sure. But anyway,
yeah,
it's
so straight after Chelsea. Barca's at 2, and then Chelsea. Chelsea Barca's at 2, and then Lyon Arsenal's at 5.
I thought Chelsea were playing.
No, I think it's Sunday. I think it's Sunday.
Oh, is it?
I thought they were, but I think no, they've got Crystal Palace in midweek, so they're playing Sunday. They got Crystal Palace.
Oh right, okay.
They're playing Crystal Palace on Wednesday in the WSL, and then I think their next game Sunday, if I'm not wrong. I think so. Yeah.
110 volts says I was there Saturday. I'll only be optimistic if DVD is playing. Well, yeah, I think we all kind of feel the same, my friend. I think we all do. Joe says I think we can beat Chelsea. Well, I don't know. We haven't managed to, have we, really? 170 guy says, is Andreas going to Lyon? You won't be going to Lyon, are you?
No.
It would be good, wouldn't it, actually? It would be good.
I'm not going there. I hoped for a better result at the Emirates. Then I would have booked my flight to Lisbon and the hotel, but now I'm waiting and the prices will be high.
You never know, Andy.
Well,
you never know, Andy. You never know.
Yeah,
both games are Sunday this week. Okay, that's fine. That's no problem. I think Chelsea game's done anyway. Greg says at least we can see Chelsea get knocked out before us. That's a good point, actually. We can see Chelsea get knocked out before we do. So, although I don't know, that might cheer us all up, mightn't it? You're right. Actually, you're right. We'll have to do that. We'll have to watch Chelsea get knocked out first. Ryan says just a good performance will be good if we don't go through. But give them a good game. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, give them a good game, get ourselves in front, give us a chance, and see where we go. I said no vlog. No, it's not going to be a vlog from Lyon, unfortunately. Unless you're going, you want to do one for us, then that'd be great. Or anyone else that's going wants to do us a vlog, that'd be fantastic. 110 volts. His biggest surprise on Saturday was when Kim was given. Yes, Kim. I must admit, when that was announced over the thing, I'm thinking, what? Yeah. Anyway, it was a supporters club that voted for her. And again, that's probably a sentimental vote as opposed to what we saw in front of us on the pitch. I mean, a player of the match actually was quite difficult, I thought, on Saturday, because we didn't really have one player for me that really stood out. We had some okay performances and we had one or two not so good performances. I mean, Andreas, who would you have given player of the match to Saturday?
I was not surprised that Kim was voted from the supporters club, because I thought she was one of our best, and we all started not at top level in the first 15-20 minutes, but then Kim got a lot of control in midfield and won balls back or protected the ball. So for me, she was one of our best, and I think I would have given my vote to her too. Yes.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, Amaro, who do you thought was our best player on Saturday? It's quite tough, actually.
Player of the match? Oh, I don't know. That's tough. Yeah, it's really difficult. It's hard to pick out. I would say, I don't know. It's really hard. I'd probably say, I can understand why Kim was given it, but I suppose Mariona didn't have a best. It's hard. It was really hard. It could have been anybody going a forward line. I wouldn't give it to goalkeeper or the defense, but it's I mean, Beth didn't have her best game. I mean, they did with Leslie, but it's hard to tell, really. I would probably give it to Caldente, probably.
See, I don't know. I thought she was quiet.
Hard to tell.
I don't know. It was tough, actually. I mean, I guess I was surprised it was Kim just because I wasn't necessarily expecting it to be Kim. I don't know who I was expecting it to be, actually, because it was tough because nobody really stood out as better than anybody else on our team. I thought, we played okay, but I don't know, it wasn't players that you'd normally expect to rise to the occasion didn't really play that well, did they? As we said, Mariona wasn't great, Leslie Russo wasn't great because I don't think she was fit, Beth was okay, Caitlin was okay in moments of the game. Defensively, we were not great. I thought Leah played okay at the back, actually. Emily Fox made a few mistakes, didn't she? Steph wasn't great. Katie McCabe was
she played
right.
really well. Leah was solid.
El Loco says, without the DVD between the sticks, our chances are cut by half. Zinsberger is a problem. Yeah, we know that. She has declined, doesn't dive anymore because thighs are getting chunkier and chunkier. I don't know if that's the reason, but she certainly doesn't really dive anymore, does she? But anyway, you're right. 170 Gunner says Ford was my player of the match. Yeah, I thought she had moments in the game, didn't she? You know, she nearly scored in the second half, and she had one or two bright moments. Terry says our player of the match surely has to be VAR. Well, yeah, probably, yeah. For once. 170 Gunner says Fox was the only defender who could keep up with her. Well, no, she's true. She just made a couple of mistakes, didn't she? That was all. I have to look up here the name. Can't scramble it to my mind right now. Even how hard I had to shake my head. Yeah, I don't think any of us could think of a name really. One guy says Catley is better than Leah for me. I don't think she was on Saturday. I thought Catley was a little bit shaky at times. She got caught out certainly for the second goal, but you know it wasn't our day, was it? So maybe it's difficult to pick a player of the match from all of that. Now, I know obviously the Champions League is the main focus because that's all we're really excited about, but there was a WSL game the previous midweek, and there is another WSL game to come as well next midweek. And now, you know, it's an important time in the league because second place is now in our hands. And let's have a quick look back on that Leicester game because that was quite a good performance, wasn't it? And of course, talking to Caitlin Ford, it was Caitlin Ford's night, wasn't it, against Leicester? She had a very good game, scored a couple of goals and looked lively throughout. I mean, it was a really good Arsenal performance against a fairly average Leicester team. Let's be honest, we can't judge ourselves on an opponent like that, but you can only beat what's there. We had to win the game, and we won it really, really comfortably, didn't we? With some good football, some nice goals, and we hoped it was going to give us the springboard to go on in the Lyon game and build on that. It didn't work out that way, but the league's important, isn't it? You know, we don't want to be third again. We don't have to go through those ridiculous playoffs. And of course, with Man United dropping points at the weekend as well, that Leicester win is now even more important than it was at the time. So it was the right result, a good performance, but yeah, I don't think we can look too much into that at all because Leicester were not great, were they? I mean, Andreas, did you get to watch that game? Because you wasn't around, was you?
Yeah, I couldn't be at the Emirates, so this was the only home game I missed in this season. So yeah, it was a good performance, and of course it helped that we were up 2-0 after 16 minutes. So if you play a team that comes just to defend their own goal and you're up 2-0 after a quarter of an hour, that's the best that can happen. It was a good performance, but yeah, Leicester is not Lyon. So yeah, we must beat teams like Leicester, and it helped. The early goals, good performance from Caitlin, from Beth, and the chance to give Vicky Belova 45 minutes. She scored a wonderful goal, and everybody was celebrating her. This was a nice moment. So I think it was all in all a very good performance, a good game. And if you see the goal Leicester scored, it was once again a Manu goal. She was standing on the line, watching what happens. Our statue on the line. Yeah, it has to be said. Even against a team like Leicester, we can't play with a clean sheet because they have one shot on goal, and our statue stands on the line and watches what happens. But all in all, 3 points were important, and we have to send big thanks to Manchester
for West Ham.
Yeah. United and City both lost 2 points. This helps us, and I hope we can finish second in the league. This would be important for the next Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's in our hands now as well, isn't it? You know, not only in terms of the fact that Man U have dropped points, but we obviously have to play them as well at home in the last game of the season. So it was always in our hands anyway, but even more so now. Lucky says there, can we catch Chelsea? Well, I mean, mathematically we can.
Of course we can.
But they need to lose 2 of their 4 games, don't they? And when you look at who they've got to play, can you see them losing 2 of them games? I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to happen. A complete unknown says, imagine Chelsea dropping points to Crystal Palace. Well, yeah, imagine if they do. It would be great, wouldn't it? But let's be honest, I don't really expect that's going to happen. But there you go. One thing we're says they have Man U away 3 days after Barca. Yeah, they have.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying they might not lose one game, but are they going to lose 2 games? And we'd have to win all ours and get, I think our goal difference is better than theirs at the minute as well, isn't it? So they need to lose 2, don't they? They've got to play Crystal Palace. They've got to play Liverpool and
Spurs.
Spurs. I just can't see them losing 2 of them games. They could lose to Man U. Yes, they could. I mean, Liverpool's the only other one you look at and think, maybe they could potentially, but I don't know. Lucky says Chelsea have United away, Liverpool 2.
Yeah, they're not easy games. They're not
easy games, but I don't know. I'll put it this way: I'll be amazed if they lose 2 games. I'll be amazed, but who knows? Who knows? Strange things do happen, I suppose. But Ryan says Tricky Vicky's back. Yeah, she is back, and the last goal that she scored. Lucky says they ain't dropping points against Palace. I'll be amazed if that happens, but who knows? Matthew says you said it yourself. Strange things happen in sport. Well, yeah, I know, but not that strange. Strange things happen, but obviously losing to Crystal Palace. One thing else, it's heard the European Champions League format as next season. Do you know? Well, I hope it's not, but
it's a league phase. I believe it's 6 games instead of 8.
Oh, that's going to be bad. Greg says Chelsea could lose a lot of confidence after Barca. They could end up draw. Maybe if they draw all their 4 games, that'll do, wouldn't it? They can just draw all 4. We'll win all that. We'll take that.
It's not impossible. It's not impossible.
Well, it's not impossible now, but it seems unlikely. So who knows? We at this moment we're sitting here at the minute. We've lost the first leg of the Champions League semi-final. We are 3 points behind Chelsea, who have a game in hand, and we look as though we're going to end the season empty. We could win the double. We could still win the double. Who knows? We could still do it. That would be good, wouldn't it? But anyway,
let's see.
Let's wait and see what happens. Let's deal with Lyon first, because that's our next game. So let's deal with them first, and then let's see where we go. I mean, the Leicester game, just quickly, what did you make of that? Good performance.
Yeah, I was there. I stayed in club level for the first time. It was a good experience for me. Yeah, I was there. It was good. It was in about 6,000 attendance, but yeah, no, it was good. We played really well from start to finish. Could easily have had more than the 5 goals. I mean, you say you blame Manu. You couldn't. I mean, it was a good strike from Miki, but they shouldn't have been given that much spice to. But I agree, she shouldn't move towards it to have it adjust to the pace of the strike. But I mean, we could. It was good that a few players were rested. Yeah, and it was good. It was a training exercise. It's just what you need for Lyon. And I think if you look forward to that after that, let's see. Hopefully, even if they do go out, they'll pick themselves up. I mean, Aston Villa have virtually secured their survival now after beating Spurs yesterday. So they really, I mean, we should have a fancier chance against them if we discuss that in more detail. So, I mean, let's see what happens. But it's going to be tough on Sunday, we know. But let's just wait and see. Never say never. We'll always keep the faith. And yeah, you never know. Miracles do happen in sport, as we've seen many times in the past.
Yeah, they do. But unfortunately, this particular miracle doesn't really involve us. We need Chelsea to lose games, which they don't lose very many of them, do they? So the chance of them losing 2.
Oh, I meant the semi-final against Lyon as well. Yeah, I meant the semi-final.
Well, yeah, I mean, we need a bit of a miracle in both competitions if we're going to win them. To be honest, let's be honest with you. But anyway, who knows? Joe says, why can't the goalie coach pushing Manu really hard in her play? Well, I don't know what's going on there, actually. I just don't think she's quite good enough. Roland says, a lot of big players out of contract this summer. We need to make some moves. Insberger needs to go. I have no confidence. Well, you have to join the queue, my friend, because no one's got any confidence in her. But there you go. And the defence certainly doesn't have. That's for certain, really. Lucky says their Barca school Chelsea. They did, yeah, but their Barca and Crystal Palace aren't quite as good as Barcelona, are they? So we can't expect
they did.
As much as we'd like them to. One thing we're going to say, we shouldn't have lost both games against Chelsea. That's where we lost. Absolutely, yeah, you're right. I thought we were unlucky in both games, actually. We should have got something from that home game. We should have got something from the away game. And who knows, we could have won the league, but we didn't. And now we have to hope that this miracle is going to happen and Chelsea fall apart at the end of the season, which who knows? It might happen, but let's just win our games, and we can't worry too much about anybody else. We just have to win our games and hope for the best. And
Exactly.
at least that way, if we win all our games, we're guaranteed finishing at least second, aren't we? And at least that's going to help us next season preparation-wise, isn't it? Lucky says, Lyon haven't lost a game this season and won all their home games. Oh, well, that's great, isn't it? That's brilliant. That's all we need to know, isn't it? They've won all their home. But then again, you see, they're going to probably not win at least one. No one wins every home game in a season, do they? So, maybe this is the one they won't win. Who knows? But that doesn't look good, does it? I know they haven't lost a game in the league. Have they not lost in the Champions League either? Have they gone through the whole thing without losing? That wouldn't be good, would it?
They won everything.
No, I don't think they've lost in the Champions League either, have they? No, I don't think so.
Vicky says, I heard Beth will leave in the summer. She has been our most consistent player last time. No, she's been playing a lot better, but yeah, I've got a feeling she might well leave. Grat says, have a lovely evening. Sleep well. And yourself, my friend. We'll see you very soon. Ryan says, Chelsea crumbled. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But let's not think that they will. Obviously, we then play Aston Villa after Lyon, which is going to be a tough, depending on the result of it. Well, either way, actually, if we've won, coming down from that to play your next game's tough. And if we lose, lifting ourselves again for the Villa game is going to be tough anyway. Either way, I think Villa is yes, they're safe now, so there's less pressure on them as well. It'll be a tough game now. I mean, we have to win, quite honestly, don't we? Regardless of the circumstances, I'm sure there'll be squad rotation in that game. We have to win, though, and we should win. We've got a decent enough record at Villa Park, I suppose. But Andreas, do you think we'll beat Aston Villa regardless of what happens on Sunday?
We have to, and no matter what happens in Lyon, I think every player will want to be back in Champions League. Okay, if we make the miracle on Sunday, then we have the final. But if we are out, we go out on Sunday, every player will say to themselves, I want to be back in Champions League. And as Leslie said in an interview, Champions League nights at the Emirates, that's what we are longing for. That's what we want. And so they know they have to do everything in the league. And that means we have to win away at Villa. Villa are totally underperforming over the whole season, so don't underestimate them. They are capable to play better than the table says, and it won't be easy. We'll have a huge squad rotation, I'm sure. But anyway, there are players that will come in, probably Kyra or Vicky or Jenna Nicewonger. Anyway, Stina might start, and all these players want to prove something. So I'm optimistic that we will win there, and I'd say we win 2-0, even with Manu in goal. Maybe with Manu in goal only 2-1, but normally we should win 2-0 there at Villa Park.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right, actually. If Manu's in goal, he probably will be.
Well, hopefully DVD will be.
We can see the goal, because that seems to be the way it goes, unfortunately, with Manu in goal. I mean, we should win the game, but I do think it's never easy, is it, when you're coming back off a semi-final, whether you've won or lost. If you've won, it's just as hard, because you've got to lift yourself back up again, haven't you, for that game? So it's going to be a tough one. As I say, Villa with nothing to play for, they might relax a bit more, and who knows? They've caused us one or two problems in the past. Vicky says Villa will be safe, so nothing to play for. Yeah, but sometimes that makes them a dangerous opponent, because they've got no pressure, and we've got the pressure because we will have to win. But we should win, obviously. I mean, Emma, do you think we'll beat Aston Villa? Regardless of what happens on Sunday.
Yeah, they've shown some fight. So regardless of what happens on Sunday, I expect a few changes from the game to be made. I don't expect the same starting lineup for both matches. I think we are racing record is good against them. I think the only time we've lost to them was that 2-0 defeat a couple of seasons ago when they had an informed Rachel Daly. They've shown some good signs under their new manager, but we should be too strong for them regardless. And I think is it at Villa Park? I assume it's a 6 o'clock kickoff on the Wednesday, I believe, isn't it? Yeah, so I think they showed that, and then the Manchester United Chelsea. Yeah, Manchester United, Chelsea. So I think we'll be too strong for them, and I think we'll win 3-1. So let's see.
Yeah, I mean, if Manu's in goal, we will probably concede, as we've said. I think we'll beat them. I think there'll be squad rotation, but hopefully we'll have enough left in the tank. And yeah, I would say 2-1, 3-1, something like that. We should win, shouldn't we? Greg says realistically we should win all 3 league games. Yeah, realistically we should.
Yes.
But football isn't played in reality sometimes, is it? But let's hope so. Terry says Rene still has time to mess the league up. Yeah, well, yeah, we do still have time, but then so did Chelsea. Let's be honest, Chelsea's have time to mess it up. Lucky says Man U are not that good. They can just run around like headless chickens. Yeah, they're quite strong defensively, though, aren't they? They don't concede many goals.
No,
anyway,
they don't.
170 Gunner says, I think the club tried to improve on McCabe with Nice-Wonga. It didn't work out, but I think we'll try again in the summer. Well, I don't know. Maybe Nice-Wonga will work out. Who knows? Let's wait and see. We've had a few more. Oh, hang on, some comments up here. Where are we? Greg says everyone said we should have got a City manager, and look where they are in the league. Yeah, it's not really his fault, is it? Because he's only just come in, isn't he? Joe, if we finish second with a Champions League semi-final under our belt, what Arsenal makes available in pounds will tell us if they're really one club. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, that is a good point. Because let's see how much they are going to invest in the women's team next season, because that's going to be important, isn't it? LG says Beth is probably going to go Man City for obvious reasons.
She won't go to City. Why would she go to City? Why would she go to City? Come on.
Viv plays there.
Yeah, true.
That'll be the reason. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Why would you want to go to City, man?
Lucky says, who's worse, Spurs men's team or their women's team? Well, it's a close call, that, isn't it? Probably the men's team this season. Well, having said that, I was looking at the league table the other day, the Premier League table, and Spurs are the only team in the bottom half of the Premier League that's got a positive goal difference. In fact, their goal difference is like similar to Nottingham Forest, who are like 6. So actually, I don't think Spurs' league position necessarily is a fair reflection of them, if I'm honest. But yeah, if you look at the league table and in the men and the women, the men's team are probably worse. But yeah, it's quite a good comparison to have to make, isn't it? Anyway, so yeah, we're looking like we're going to finish second in the league. We look like we're going to probably fall just short in the Champions League. Would you be happy with the season, Andreas, if that's how it finishes?
Not from what we expected before the season, but after the bad season start, end of September, early October, yes, I'm happy with the turnaround. And after the start with Man City draw, Everton draw, lost at home against Chelsea, being humiliated in Munich 5-2. I wouldn't have expected us to be in the semi-final of Champions League or have a chance to finish second. So from this bad start on, I think it's the development and the turnaround is good. But from what we expected before the season started, it's not a good season, because we won't win anything if we are honest. And the league title was gone in October. That's ridiculous for a club like Arsenal. Out in both the domestic cup competitions is disappointing. So no, it's not a successful season.
No, I wouldn't say it is a successful season. I mean, is it a good season? I don't know. I mean, there's been progress, I suppose, through the season from where we were when Rene came in. But yeah, you're right. There's no excuse. The FA Cup performance against Liverpool, no excuse for that whatsoever. I thought the semi-final of Conti Cup against Man City, again, no real excuse for that. We should have done better in both of those two competitions. And, yes, we're not going to be far away in the league at the end of the season, probably. We're going to be not far away from Chelsea. Obviously, semi-final Champions League is a decent enough effort, isn't it, when you look at where we were? But we should have won one of them domestic cups, I think. And we could have done that and still finished second in the league and reached the Champions League semi-final. We could still have done that. And that'll be the big disappointment for me. I think in the WSL, from where we were to where we are, we have to be reasonably happy. Champions League, whatever happens Sunday, I think we should be proud of the run that we've had and what we've done. But we should have won one of those domestic cups, or at least got to one of the finals at least. And that to me is a disappointment for this season. And as much as Renee's improved things, she's still got a lot more work to do to prove herself at this club, at this level. Is she the one to get us to these trophies? Can she do it? Let's wait and see. As we mentioned before, next season we can judge her properly. But yeah, this season's going to finish probably disappointing and frustrating for me, because we could have been, even the improvements that we've made, it could have been better, because we could have won a cup. We could have done. And unfortunately, it looks as though we're probably not going to now, unless, say, some miracles happen in the next week or so. I mean, Emma, what would you make of the season if it finishes as it is now? Would you think it's been a good season or a disappointing season overall?
Yeah, I mean, with you, it's difficult to put into perspective. Yeah, as I said, you have to give Renee the credit. The job to turn around, she's done. But give her a summer transfer and all the next season before putting her under any real scrutiny. But yeah, we are Arsenal, as you say, and we have to be winning things, and we want to be on the top table, and we're still some way short of that. So hopefully we look at things around. If we're giving a mark out of 10, I'd probably still give her probably a 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10 for this season, because it's been better than what it could have been. But yeah, I know. Then we just need to have that consistency and spend wisely in the transfer window in the summer, and and hopefully we can close the gap between us and the top tier teams. Because as we said, we're not that far behind, but you can still see what we have to go some way to match the likes of Lyon and Chelsea and Barcelona. But no, there's still a lot to be positive about. It's not all doom and gloom, and yeah, hopefully we can just use it as a stepping stone going forward.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's about, isn't it? That this season has to be, it's going to be disappointing overall if we don't win anything, and it needs to be the stepping stone for bigger things to come in the future, and whether that's in the transfer window, which it needs to be. But let's see. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think we should have done better this season in some of the competitions, but there are improvements there. We just need to push it on now. We need to push it on, and this time next year we need to be sitting here with the club having probably won a trophy, or certainly about.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we need. And if we're sitting here next year and it's the same kind of situation again, then I think we'll be right then to start asking serious questions about what direction the club are going and where we're heading. But yeah, I'm prepared to give Renee next season, definitely, and see what she can do with a full season ahead of her. But anyway, 110 Volt says, agree, Kelly should have come on a half time on Saturday and start this Sunday. Yeah, hopefully she will. Let's wait and see. Vicky says there's some great games, lots of goals. Madrid game a highlight. Yeah, I think Madrid game obviously was definitely the highlight. It was brilliant. Greg said our goal scoring has improved this season, but we seem frightened to win a big trophy. I don't know if it's frightened. I don't know what it is. We just seem to just fall short, don't we? Lucky says we're Arsenal, we should win trophies every season. Absolutely agree with you. That is exactly right. True. Agree, domestic cups were disappointing. Yeah, and no real excuse. We had home games in both of them. We should have won and we didn't. So that is a big disappointment. Terry says, what's been good about this season after that? Greg becoming famous and gaining some good people in the chat. That's true, yeah. That is true, actually. The season's been a good from that perspective. Obviously, Greg's become the star of the show, hasn't he? Out of nowhere, which is great. Which has been good. Lucky says, do any of you guys know how much money is generated through getting into the Champions League semi-finals? I'm not sure. It won't be a lot, though, will it? Because women's football doesn't generate a lot of money yet. But obviously, it's better to be in it than not be in it. So we're going to make more money than if we wasn't in it. So yeah, it's going to be positive. Joe says, if we sign well, I'm excited for next season. Yeah, absolutely. I think we all are. Ryan's put a little trophy up there. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Vicky says Mariona must play 10 on Sunday. I agree with you. Absolutely. We want to see her playing 10 that way. And if she does, we'll have half a chance, won't we, of getting that result that we need. So yeah, it's been a slightly frustrating weekend, hasn't it? Let's be honest. I think we all went into the weekend hoping to take a positive result over there and, using the Emirates and stuff. It didn't quite work for us for one reason or another. But we're not Chelsea. We are still in our semi-final. We have still got, we can still do it. And it's a big job. And we have to it's going to take an unbelievable effort from everybody on Sunday if we're going to go and do it. But let's pray and hope that that they can find a way to do it, because it would be amazing, wouldn't it? It would absolutely be amazing. 110 Volt says, took my sister for the first time Saturday. She now wants a shirt and to go. Well, there you go. That's what it's about, isn't it? You see, that kind of proves, doesn't it, that
That's good, yeah.
I think women's football in particular now, because of the growth, go there. If you're a bit unsure, you think, oh, I'm not sure it's women's football, go to a game and you'll go again. Absolutely, you will. So yeah, that's what you need to do. You need to experience it, and you won't regret it. And yeah, and what a game for your first game to go to, a Champions League semi-final as well. What a way to kick off. Shame we didn't get a result, because that would have been amazing, wouldn't it? But let's see what happens on Sunday. And hopefully we'll do it. So this has been, I know it's not Friday, it's a Monday. I don't know what day it is. I think it's a Monday. Every day seems to be the same.
Monday, yeah.
I've been away for a week. It's been Easter. Loads of stuff's gone on. It's back to real life again tomorrow, unfortunately. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed Easter, which is, a few days off, which is nice.
You too, yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed the show as well. It's been good, isn't it, to have a chat about the game. I know it wasn't what we wanted to be talking about. We was hoping to be talking about a good victory and getting excited for the final, but we still could next week, couldn't we? I don't think there's any reason to have a show Friday, because we've already covered the second leg already. So we'll maybe do it a week on Friday. We can look back on the semi-final, obviously the second leg, and the Aston Villa game, and look ahead to the game against Brighton, which is on the bank holiday Monday after, isn't it?
That's right, yes.
So yeah, we can do all that a week on Friday. So join us for that. Of course, I'll be here Sunday for the game, nervously anticipating the miracle, but who knows? Football, I say, it throws up some weird stuff. So I'll be here Sunday. Yeah. So do join me for that. I can't do the Arsenal men's game on Wednesday against Crystal Palace, because I'm doing a race on Wednesday evening, so I won't be here. And by the time I get back, go into the second half, so there's no point. So I'll be back Sunday, obviously, for the semi-final. Greg says, made me chuckle. Barcelona had 150,000. Was that 15,000? It's 15,000. Sorry, yeah, too many zeros. That's below average. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. They call themselves a big club. They can't even attract fans. Ridiculous. Anyway, Lucky says Chelsea fans are so disillusioned. They still think they can get through. Well, they can think what they like, but I mean, we still think we can get through. So we're just as bad, aren't we? But anyway, Joe says Chelsea lose and Arsenal win semi-final. And the season, yeah, exactly. That would kind of make up for quite a bit, wouldn't it, if that happens? If they lose 2 league games as well, that would be good, wouldn't it? 170 Gunner says, wouldn't taking Mariona away from DM worry you, leaving Walty little Kyla? Yeah, a little bit, but I don't know. Is Mariona's game? Is she best served when we need to win the game? Is she best served in a defensive role, or are we better off maybe putting Vicky Palova and Kyra there and letting Mariona get further forward, because we need to win the game? Yeah, we can't afford to get overrun in midfield, obviously, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. Terry says, Richard Aldaldiam, have a great week. Great to have you 3 back.
You too.
Stay positive. Indeed, we'll try to stay positive, my friend. Lucky says, thank you guys. Let's get a win at Lyon. Indeed, we'll be praying. We will be hoping and praying to get that win on Sunday. So please join me for that. I'll be here at about 4:45. So get yourself a cup of tea. Sit down and enjoy, and try and relax and enjoy it, because it's going to be fun anyway, isn't it? Joe says Mario needs a free roam. Exactly, yeah, she just needs to get on the ball. Roland says, I think it's time for a rebuild. We are the second oldest women across the NWSL and MSL. Average age 20. Is it 28.6? Wow. Vicky says, we play better when we attack. Yeah, we do. You're right. Matthew says, the winner of the Women's UEFA tournament could earn 12 million euros. Is that right? So we need to win it. And what do we get for the semi-final? We probably will get 4 million. Then will we?
I think so.
No. Maybe we don't get anything. You shouldn't get anything, should you? You shouldn't get anything to win, as far as I'm concerned. You should get nothing unless you win. So more of an incentive to win, isn't it? But anyway, I'm sure we'll get something for being in the semi-final. But let's spend it wisely. Let's spend it wisely in the summer. Let's improve this squad, and let's make sure that next week we don't come up short. Greg says, night. He says, night the Three Kings, night Terry, all the rest of the chat. and still the best women's show ever. Well, we hope so, my friend, and we're obviously grateful for you guys, and even better now that we've, Greg's appearing regularly on the vlog as well, which is good. So thank you for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the return of the show. I say we're back Sunday. Thank you to Andreas and to Amar, of course, and to all you guys in the chat for watching. Please share and subscribe. Andreas, have you enjoyed being back on the show, following your jet setting around?
Yeah, of course, I enjoyed being back. I was in New York 2 weeks, and then in London for the Champions League. So it's good to be back to normal and to be back in the show. And I think everyone who has watched my vlog and who hasn't done yet, do it, because Greg, Eng, and Emerson are only live on this channel in my matchday vlog. They are not on the Zone or Sky or BBC. You can't use anywhere else, only in Over and Over on the matchday vlog. So please watch it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't know why people even watch DAZN and Sky and TNT, because you don't get the sort of stuff that you get here. But if people want to do it, that's up to them. But you definitely want to check that vlog out, because every single match they seem to get better and better. And obviously this one in particular with Greg and Ange and Emerson, of course, it's a great one as always. So yeah, definitely check that out, because you won't regret it at all. Emma as well, good to see you. Now we can see you a bit better now. You're in the light as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's been good. Hope you had a good holiday. Where did you go, just out of interest? Where did you go for your holiday?
We just went to the Lake District.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you can't get tired. Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, it was good to have it back. And yeah, it was. It's been good to be back. Yeah, the result was disappointing, but we always have to keep the faith. Anything can happen. Yeah, there's still a possibility. It could be Arsenal-Barcelona final in both Champions League. So you still never know. But we'll have to keep on supporting them through thick and thin. And yeah, you just well, it's been good to be back. And yeah, hopefully, you never know. We will see each other in Lisbon at the end of the season. We can only keep believing and dreaming. But yeah, it's been. We look forward to the next time, and let's hope we have a good end to the season.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? That is what it's all about. Greg says, thanks for Amar's house tour. I'll book you and I'll move. Well, exactly. Yeah, if any estate agents are watching and you want a house tour done, you know who to contact. He says, adios, and yourself, my friend. I checked the semi-final. 12.9 million pounds. Is that what you get for being in the semi-final?
12.9 million. I already said 480,000.
Wow, we can, if that's true, we can buy a couple of players, can't we? And the runner-up gets 15.9. Wow. Okay, well, that's fair enough. If that's true, then that's good. I'll be happy with that. Be very happy with that.
Okay.
Well, there you go. We're definitely going to buy some players now, aren't we? There's no doubt about that. Well, okay, that's a bit of a shock, isn't it? But let's win it and get the big amount of money. That's what we want to try and do now, don't we? So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks to Andreas, of course. Thanks to Amar. Thanks to you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back Sunday, semi-final, second leg. Are we going to Lisbon in May? Are we all going to Lisbon in May? Come on, we are. Let's do it. Let's get that sorted and let's get through. We'll see you Sunday, guys. Take it easy. And of course, come on, you Gunners. Let's do it. Let's get it done. We'll see you soon, guys. Take it easy. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.